Well, after this cooled down last night, we're back out here. We got a brand new pilot bearing. It's almost the same as the idler bearings that I put in for the sprockets on the corn head for the K. And with how nicely it came out, it should just be a couple quick taps with the old one on top. Get it to go right in there. It's going a little crooked so far. Going a lot crooked so far. Okay. Well, I guess that's all the way in because we're hitting bottom. And that went in almost as easy as it came out with our little bearing puller and the slam hammer. Well, next is clutch plate and pressure plate. Now, as we're sitting here, I'm kind of trying to eyeball how well lined up we are. That looks pretty close. Might have to, I don't know, try to slide a pipe down in there that fits into the pilot bearing and see what we can do to make sure it's centered, because it's going to be a bear to get on if it's not in there perfectly. Right now, got our 6 bolts going around, put those in. Oh, this has been an ordeal. We're finally back to the easy part, hopefully. I guess the easy part is once we have the thing lined up on the shaft. But I would hope that that doesn't require too much beating, hammering, banging, clanging, and whatnot excessive use of force. Unlike we had to do with all these bearings. Well, it's just, right now it's tightening these up, screwing them in by hand. We're trying to get an idea what sort of torque to put on them. My thing is really, really tight, and assume they used hardened bolts that won't break off. Okay, so you missed the struggle of getting the pressure plate lined up on the flywheel.
Do you mind? I'm trying to look at it. Does that look like 25?
I guess so, because the next long line would be 30. We're going for about 25.
24 to 26. General consensus on it.
See, I'm up to the 30 and still getting on some of those.
Before you get it to move.
No, I don't want them coming loose.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a bit of struggle getting this thing to line up. Not sure if the flywheel is shrunk or being an aftermarket clutch, how proportionally it was made to the original. Well, we got some starter studs. Cut off the cap, tapered it, tapped it on, and get it started sort of closer-ish. I wouldn't say the bolts threaded in smoothly by hand.
Yeah, they were dragging on the side of the pressure plate. Or clip.
So, yeah. But it's on there now. Okay, in the shadows, if we can see it, that is a grease hose line and some black iron pipe fittings. The old grease line had, well, from heat, had broken off. It melted through, essentially. So we fixed up that new one with grease hose line. And we have our, clutch assembly back here, and we're ready to put it back on.
Sliding in.
Yeah, so I guess we're hitting our pilot bearing. If it's sliding that far, right?
You.
No hammering or nothing.
That's the way they're supposed to slide together.
And no alignment tool for the pilot to clutch plate. Oh, just a good eyeball. Or maybe they left us a lot of extra clearance. Okay, well, that was the most exciting part. Okay, so where are we at? Well, wasted a bunch of time back in there with the linkage from the clutch pedal to the throwout shaft. Because when we put that back on, we couldn't get it to disengage the clutch. It's a hydraulic clutch of sorts. There's some hydraulic lines involved. Dad's thinking maybe the line linked down, and after we pumped it a couple times, we're going to have to work. But we took that all apart, put a new clevis in, tried to adjust it out to get it, to disengage the clutch. Well, we finally got there, but I don't know if we made that rod any longer to the clevis way back in the darkness there. So I'm putting the belt back on. I guess the next thing is we'll get the belt on, get our bracket for the cylinder back on down here. And then we can at least test it out before we get all the shields and stuff in the way to make sure we did it right. Hopefully we did it right. This has just been more of a claw and a struggle than I'd hoped for. Just everything. You gotta kick and scream and fight a little tantrum. Ugh. Right now I've got a bunch of tightening ahead of me. Shadows. Blah. Right now I've got a bunch of tightening ahead of me on the adjustment here for the variable speed pulleys. You can see probably down there about the end of the brown. Right there-ish is where I gotta get it back down to. That's just a whole lot of sitting here playing with a 3/4 inch wrench, killing time, and making as big of a half a turn as I can to get it extended out. Now, I guess we can get started on that. Yep, we're gonna be here a while, so I'll see you guys on the flip side. We're back to where I started with the video on this clutch on the TR.70 and with the forward radiator. All we have to do is put the sheet metal back on. The belt's pretty well there. We got that bracket and stuff on for the lift cylinder.